Good morning. Welcome to Chaikin PowerFeed, your daily market digest. Today is Friday, August 3rd, 2018. I am your host, Dan Russo, the chief market strategist at Chaikin Analytics. You can follow me on Twitter at DanRusso_CMT. PowerFeed TV brought to you today and every day by Chaikin Analytics in conjunction with StockCharts.com and StockCharts TV. And you can sign up to receive Chaikin PowerFeed for free at www.chaikinanalytics.com/PowerFeed TV. So the real crux of the story yesterday was a big reversal during the day. And, we can debate whether that had something to do with Apple hitting the $1 trillion mark. I tend to say no. But U.S. equities were mostly higher in Thursday's trading, ending well off the morning lows. Treasuries were stronger across the curve, and the dollar was better on the euro and sterling crosses, but a bit weaker against the yen. Gold finished down 60 basis points, and oil was higher after a two-day decline, with WTI settling up nearly 2%. This was down close to 2% in the morning. Remember when we were talking, closed up 2% or nearly 2% on the day. Breadth on the New York Stock Exchange was positive 1.5 to 1, and breadth on the NASDAQ was also positive 1.5 to 1. And as we get to the desk this morning, futures are relatively flat. So let's take a look at what this means. All things considered, earnings season, Apple hitting the $1 trillion mark, wild gyrations in some of the FANG stocks, and not much has changed from a strategic secular perspective. And that's something to keep in mind. That's why I preach constantly to, turn off the TV, ignore the media, do your own work, follow your own process, because look, we really haven't done much. The picture hasn't changed. We're still consolidating within the context of a secular uptrend. We're holding 2,800 for now. That remains support. Below that, 2771, 2741, and the gradually rising 200-day moving average is now at 2700. Resistance comes into play just overhead in the 2840 to 2850 zone. That's that unfilled gap in January, and then the all-time highs at 2873. So, for all the moving parts, a lot of being reported in the media, not a ton changing at the index level. We can see the RSI still has not been able to become overbought, but we are in bullish ranges, so that is encouraging. We do want to see that overbought condition, especially on a breakout through this 2873 level. That would be really important to me. Chaikin money flow indicator is bullish, and it has been bullish for the most part since early May. Had that slight dip back in the beginning of July as the market sold off, but for the most part, it's bullish. So there's really nothing that I've seen that changes my view that this is a consolidation within a secular uptrend that is likely to resolve to the upside. Now, as a PowerFeed subscriber, every day I'll give you kind of the 5 bullet points that I think matter, that's important, that people are focusing on. Listen, at the end of the day, it is just a big deal that Apple reached that $1 trillion milestone. And I think it's a big deal, not so much because what it means for the overall market and whether it's going to drive the market higher or not. I just think it's pretty amazing that a company that was twice on the verge of extinction managed to come back, reinvent itself, and is now the first $1 trillion market cap. I think it's just a great story. And if you care about companies and businesses and stocks, and it's just an amazing story, and that's why I have it here today. The S&P 500 did reverse early losses to close higher on the day, and that was encouraging. We've spoken about oil a few times this week. Oil rebounds after a 2-day decline, and then retail stocks are finding support, and that's what's interesting to me. And we're going to spend some time focusing on that today, as well as a stock idea within the space. Futures do point to a flat open. Improvements on the power bar level for the indices, and if we look at the Dow, we're at 7 to 5, bullish to bearish. But we saw an improvement here with the S&P 500. It was up 53 basis points yesterday. Now has back over 100 bullish or very bullish stocks at 107, 72 bearish or very bearish stocks. Nasdaq, the key here with that strength in Apple, as well as some of the other tech names, driving the Nasdaq up over 1.3% yesterday. Power bar ratio skews 3 to 1 in favor of the bulls. And in an interesting continuation of what I mentioned yesterday, we are seeing the small caps outperform on up days, and that is encouraging. We are seeing an improvement here in the power bar ratio. But remember, last week this ratio, or 2 weeks ago, this ratio had over 500 bullish or very bullish stocks. Bonds uptick slightly, and there's that strength in technology in the tech sector. It has been strong, and it's been strong all year. Let's it's a volatile sector. It's going to have its moments where it trades lower, but for the most part, the tech sector has been strong all year. It's been leadership. It's been one of the key areas to have your portfolio positioned. So our stock of the day today, and I feel like we've seen this one before, but Bonanza Creek, ticker symbol BCEI, closed at $38 yesterday, up 1.33%. It does have a very bullish Chaikin Power Gauge rating, and the Power Gauge rating for Bonanza Creek is very bullish due to very attractive financial metrics, very strong earnings performance, and very strong price volume activity. There's also some positive expert activity there as well. So let's see. Let's walk through the process. We read the chart from the bottom up, and we can see that we've been bullish or very bullish pretty much since December. However, this is key. This is the dynamic duo. The stock did not start outperforming the market until May, right? So now we have a very bullish stock that's outperforming the market. So we know that it's one we kind of want to look at, keep an eye on, has a strong trend in a strong industry. However, from a tactical standpoint, we're overbought, and I'd like to see some stronger money flow. I think Bonanza Creek is certainly an interesting name. We want to add it to a bullish watch list today and just keep an eye on it. And when everything lines up, when this turns green across the board, that can give you the confidence that you're buying the stock at the right time. In addition to that, within Chaikin Analytics, we have our buy and sell signals that really can enhance your entries and exits and help out performance. So our sector tracker now, let's look at the movement over the last 5 days. And, nice to see technology moving up the list. It was been in the bottom 3 all week after that sell-off towards the tail end of last week. But the top of the board, real estate, healthcare, and staples, it certainly has. And I mean, look, utilities is number 4, even though they're down 17 basis points over the past 5 days. It really has a defensive feel to it. So we want to see kind of a reversal. We want to see tech outperforming. We want to see discretionary outperforming. The comms, newly minted comms sector really struggling as some of those bigger internet names have sold off. But, this is kind of just that rotation that we've been talking about. My note on Tuesday to Chaikin Analytics clients, we talked about sector rotation and what looks sustainable and what doesn't. You've heard me talk about real estate. I like real estate bottoming relative to the market. It's taking a little bit longer than I thought. Utilities have been a big performer for the past couple of months. So yeah, there's some rotation going on under the hood, and it's something to keep an eye on, but it doesn't really change our view all that much. Our industry in focus today is mining services, and we can see the power bar here, 4-1 to the bearish side, 8 bearish or very bearish stocks for only 2 bullish or very bullish stocks. And over the past 6 months, the mining subsector has underperformed the S&P 500 by 3.65%. Its power bar ratio, which measures future potential, is very weak, with more bearish than bullish stocks, and it's currently the worst ranked subsector of the 21 that we track, and it's moved down 5 slots over the past week. Indicative names here, Compass Minerals, Royal Gold, and Alcoa all have very bearish Chaikin Power Gauge ratings, and let's dig in on one today. We're going to look at Royal Gold. Why? Because Royal Gold has a very bearish power gauge rating. It's a weak trend in a weak industry. Closed at 83.49 yesterday, down 32 basis points. And if we move to the bottom of the chart, we can see the ribbon has been predominantly bearish or neutral for the past 12 months. Here we are on that very bearish signal, and we're just beginning to underperform relative to the market. So market and model are in agreement. That is encouraging. We also have some very bearish Chaikin money flow. Right? But as the stock has traded off here from 92 down to 84, it has become oversold. What we want to do here is add this to our bearish watch list. When the stock becomes overbought, that would be an opportune time to sell a long position, or if you short stocks, open a short position, or perhaps buy put options on Royal Gold. Regardless, this is not one we want in the portfolio on the long side. Everything lines up that tells you that this is a stock that you want to avoid. Trending yesterday's S&P 500 movers and shakers, and a lot of what we're seeing here is earnings related. CF, neutrally rated stock, up 12%. PKI, bearish stock, up over 8%. Regeneron, bullish stock in the drug space, up 7%. Global Payments is a very bullish stock, and this is interesting to me. It's up 6.5%. I really like the payment processor space. I think it's an interesting group of stocks. They are well-run companies. Global Payments is one, ticker symbol GPN. Total System Services, TSS, which had a good day yesterday and actually triggered a buy signal in Chaikin Analytics this morning. It was actually a highlighted long idea in my note to clients one day last week. I really like these payment stocks, these payment processors. I think they're a secular winner as we move away from a cash payments and more towards mobile payments and card-based payments. The same dynamics that drive a Square, or the same dynamics that drive a PayPal or even a Visa and MasterCard, drive the dynamics on these payment processors. I think it's interesting. Google Payments, GPN, TSS, take a look at those stocks. Zotis up as well. TripAdvisor, neutrally rated stock. We've been long. I've called out Travelport. I've called out Expedia. We've been long the OTAs, the online travel agencies, and it looks like we picked the two winners because TripAdvisor was down 11%. Neutrally rated stock, we were avoiding that one. WLTW down 8%, actually tripped two sell signals in Chaikin Analytics today. Wynn down over 6%. Caesars, another casino stock that was down big yesterday as well. It seems that convention business on the Strip is slowing down, also running into some issues in Macau. Those are the two key drivers for casino stocks. So it looks like there's some trouble brewing under the hood in Vegas and Macau. UNW and HFC down 6% and 7% respectively, both neutrally rated stocks. The earnings update. Yesterday's surprises, EXC surprises to the upside. Activision Blizzard is the interesting one here because the stock got decimated with EA when EA reported and disappointed the street. Probably should see a rebound here. Cigna is a name within that healthcare services group that we've been highlighting for a while that's been very strong. Names like Centene, names like WellCare, the healthcare services names that we've been calling out for investors. Cigna beats by 56 cents and BioMarin beats by a penny. On a Friday, the earnings calendar slows down a little bit. I think, before the open, names to look at: Noble, they're actually trading down. LyondellBasell, big name in the chems space, as well as Dish Networks, in the tech and in particular the consumer tech space. These are all neutrally rated stocks though. And then after the close, just about the only company that can get away with reporting their earnings after the close on a Friday, Berkshire Hathaway. Always interesting to see what Berkshire has to say. And just as a reminder, we suggest using caution when holding bearish stocks ahead of earnings. So now let's kind of walk through the key themes. Listen, like I said, I feel like we have to touch on it. But realistically, the fact that it's at $1 trillion market cap doesn't change the analysis that we want to do when we're looking at stocks, right? Apple, we can see it's in an uptrend. It's above the rising 200-day moving average. We gapped above resistance at the 195 level. That now becomes support. And quite frankly, we may need it because the stock is overbought. Here's the RSI, registered a 75 rating with that move higher yesterday. And we can see, it's been predominantly in bullish ranges. It hasn't been oversold since the February timeframe. So all indications are, that the trend is strong in Apple. Money flow is positive here, so we like to see that. But don't get caught up in the drama and the hype. Yes, it reached $1 trillion. Yes, it's an amazing milestone. But do you want to chase the stock here at $107, or do you want to maybe wait until it pulls back and test this support level down at 195? This $1 trillion number should not change your analysis and your process when it comes to looking at Apple. Retail testing support here. This is the XRT. It's testing support at the $48, $49 level. What's interesting to me, RSI remains in bullish ranges and has so since April, and money flow is strong. I think we want to look at retail stocks. And one of my bullish stock idea for Chaikin Analytics members today, Amazon. It's in the retail ETF, and it fits all of our parameters for looking for a long idea. We have a bullish rating, strong trend in a strong industry. Power bar at the bottom of the screen here tells us that the bullish rating. Market is in agreement with the model. It's been outperforming since last November. It's oversold with bullish money flow and tripped the money flow buy signal today. Amazon looks compelling on the long side as an idea here today. So you can get powerful, profitable stock ideas and more. Sign up for PowerFeed at www.chaikinanalytics.com/PowerFeed TV. Thank you to Stock Charts for hosting. Have a great weekend, everybody.